Members, welcome to the meeting of the panel on information technology and broadcasting. It's the appointed time and we have a quorum. I call to order the meeting. Agenda item 1, information papers issued since last meeting. After the last meeting, the Secretariat has not issued any information paper. Agenda item 2, items for discussion at the next meeting. The next regular meeting will be held at 2:30 p.m. on the 13th of July. The administration proposes discussing the following 2 items. A. Work on safeguarding information security. And B. Fiber-based and mobile network coverage in rural and new development areas. Do members agree? All right, thank you. Agenda item 3. Work on promoting artificial intelligence ecosystem development and AI for all. I now invite the government officials to join us, and in the meantime, members who would like to speak, please press the request to speak button.
好，我哋正歡迎今日創新科技。
Let's welcome Professor Sun Dong, Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. We also have Ms. Cheryl Chow, Deputy Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, Mr. Daniel Chung, Acting Commissioner for Digital Policy from the Digital Policy Office, and Mr. Brian Sun, Assistant Commissioner, Data Applications from the Digital Policy Office. Please refer to the paper provided by the administration and the background brief prepared by the Legislative Secretariat issued to members before the meeting. Secretary, ready when you are. Chairman, members, good afternoon. I'm very happy to attend this meeting of the panel on information technology and broadcasting. We are here to brief members on our work on promoting AI ecosystem development and the AI for all. Since the current term government, we have made systemic plans and implementation strategy for Hong Kong's AI development. Through governance, scientific research, and computing power infrastructure, we have been enhancing the AI ecosystem and striving for the AI initiative. We need to dovetail with the 15th Five-Year Plan, and we are promoting industries for AI and AI for industries. We want to empower industries through AI as well. The AI R&D Institute will commence operation in the latter half of this year. It will transform frontier technologies as well as promote international collaboration. At the same time, the government is also preparing for a steering committee on AI plus and industry development strategy to promote industry upgrading. Under Inno Hong Kong, there are 16 R&D labs focused on AI and robotics. It's bringing together 1,200 world-class talents. We've also allocated $1.4 billion funding 13 projects. The Race Plus scheme has subsidized 73 projects, and 1/3 of them involve the use of AI. In terms of computing power, we have already reached 15 million flops. We can provide 180,000 petaflops through the Sandy Ridge cluster. It is also going to lay a solid foundation for AI development to promote AI. It is about promoting inclusive AI development. In the 2026 budget, $50 million have been allocated to promote inclusive program. The Cyberport as well as the Science Park are going to help promote AI for all. Through a tiered and collaborative model, we're going to promote AI to young people as well as other sectors. There will be 200 events. As a first step, in May this year, there was a TV program known as AI Masterclass. we seek to bring AI education into the daily lives of people. In order to promote AI, the Digital Policy Office has already established the AI ethics framework, as well as a set of guidelines. We want to promote cross-departmental efforts to promote a wider use of AI. We also want to come up with solutions to promote the wider adoption of AI. The ITIB will explore how we can make use of legislations to deal with AI risks, to promote AI governance, as well as to enhance security. We hope to, through this meeting, listen to members' views on the priority issues that we have to focus on. We also hope to dovetail with mainland as well as international standards on the use of AI so as to promote high-quality development. We also hope to contribute to the AI Plus initiative. We welcome any views from members. Thank you, Secretary. I'm going to read out the names of the members who are going to speak. Mr. Chen Xiuhong, Mr. Ray Wong, Mr. Albert Chuang, Dr. Alvin Lee, Professor William Wong, Mr. Nick Chang, Mr. Tang Fei, Mr. Ken Lee, Mr. Robert Lee, Mr. Brave Chen, Mr. Wen Kit, and Ms. Elizabeth Quat. Before members speak, I have to declare that I am the chairman of the steering committee under RAID Plus scheme. I'm also the deputy chairman of the AI Efficacy Enhancement Group. I'll give each member 4 minutes, including questions and answers. Mr. Chen Xiuhong. To dovetail with the National 15th Five-Year Plan, the SAR government is formulating a 5-year plan for Hong Kong. According to the paper, the government is going to establish a committee on AI Plus and industry development strategy, and computing power is crucial. I'm concerned about what is mentioned in paragraph 16. It says that the current total computing power in Hong Kong has reached 5,000 petaflops per second, with Cyberport's AI supercomputing center accounting for 80% of the capacity by early this year. This shows that there is huge demand for computing power from local tech enterprises as well as institutions. We may see a saturation, and a tight supply of computing power may lead to a brain drain as well as a stall on AI development. I have the following questions. The government is regarding AI as a core industry, and how do you foresee the supply of computing power in Hong Kong? The Sandy Rich Data Facility Cluster will commence operation by 2032 and will provide 180,000 petaflops of computing power. However, from the present to 2032, will the supply of computing power be able to meet the demand? Also, will the Secretary consider other options? For example, will Hong Kong and other GBA cities work together to establish a mechanism to cope with the interim demand for computing power? The first question concerns government's plan, that is, from now to 2032, how do we cope with the demand? And the second question is about whether it's possible to set up a mechanism with other GBA cities. Professor? As Mr. Chen said, we're seeing an increasing demand for computing power. In the foreseeable future, Hong Kong will face the same problem with other places in the world. That's why we are proactively taking forward the Sandy Rich project. Currently, we have 5,000 petaflops per second of computing power, and that accounts for 80% of our capacity. There's room for increasing the computing power. Some projects may last for a few months, some may last for longer, and currently we have enough supply of computing power. It is planned that by 2029, the Sandy Ridge Data Facility Cluster will commence operation. Our plan is that before the 1st of January next year, part of the Sandy Ridge Data Facility Cluster will put into operation. So it's not that we will wait until 2029 to put the facility into operation. Therefore, by next summer, part of the facility can commence operation. The Sandy Ridge Data Facility will help bring in a large number of clients, including international ones. The member said we can step up collaboration with the mainland. Well, we have been encouraging Hong Kong and mainland enterprises to make use of resources available in the GBA. So we are letting the private sector or the market to make a decision on their own. So enterprises, I believe, will make their own plans. Next, Mr. Ray Wong. In recent years, both international tech companies and mainland leading enterprises call for open source AI. That's because we're seeing a rapid development of AI. We need data-driven AI model, and we're also seeing huge competitions. Open source AI will be able to attract overseas institutions and enterprises, and that's more effective than having one single enterprise develop their own model. There were successful cases in Hong Kong, GCCS, and that has become Hong Kong SES. And that has helped promote the digitalization of certain typing software. Today, Hong Kong Pilot as well as Hong Kong Chat has already brought together a lot of resources. It covers a lot of colloquial languages as well as Cantonese dialect, and that's a core asset for building Hong Kong large language model. Will you learn from the GCSE model and progressively open up Cantonese materials and data for local universities and R&D institutions so as to lower the costs for these institutions to develop AI model? Secretary, I thank the member for the questions. There have been controversies about open source AI and non-open source AI. In the mainland, there are more open source AI models. And for other enterprises, they first develop open source AIs and then they switch to non-open source ones. I think they have their own considerations. And we respect their decisions. We have to make sure that we have the core technologies. So we encourage enterprises to develop open source AIs. Hong Kong Guy has been working very closely with the market. Last week, it has published and released the third version or edition of its model. So we see that we have reached a new height in this regard. So whether we want open source AIs or we want further development, Hong Kong Guy serves as a very important player. How can Hong Kong Guy ride on the trend of AI and to ensure better development? Well, on one hand, it has to cater to the needs of the public. For example, it should continue to develop Hong Kong Chat and Hong Kong Pilot to cater to the needs. And on the other hand, it should ensure there is development of frontier technologies. I believe that in the near future, we'll be able to give a more detailed report on their progress.
Next, Mr. Albert Chuang. Thank you. Regarding enhancing the AI circle and facilitating the use of AI, we can see the results of the administration. I have 2 questions in paragraph 18 of the papers. In January this year, a total of 8 departments in the Chinese mainland published implementation views on AI plus manufacturing. That is, using AI to empower manufacturing industries to advance new industrialization. In relation to SMEs, it is said that computing power and model support need to be given to enterprises. We need to lower the costs or the development costs for enterprises. And for Shenzhen, 500 million computing vouchers and 100 million computing vouchers, respectively, to reduce the R&D costs. 11 organizations have received fundings, but most of them are large-scale enterprises or government organizations. Regarding SMEs, will the government draw reference from Chinese mainland experience to provide computing vouchers or model vouchers in order to lower their operating costs? The Hong Kong Productivity Council last year issued the findings of a survey. Over 90% of the enterprises expressed the view that they want to use AI. However, cost pressure affects their intention to use AI. $300 million will be spent on enhancing the digital transformation support pilot program. At present, the funding ratio stands at 1:1. It mainly targets F&B, tourism, personal services, and so on. I'd like to ask the administration whether this funding scheme will be expanded and the threshold on industries will be removed in order to help more SMEs to meet the eligibility requirements. Thank you. Secretary. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chuang, for your questions. Regarding the second question, that is the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Program, DTSPP 2.0, I'd like to ask Ms. Chow to reply, and then I will take the first question. Ms. Chow, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chuang's question on DTSPP. We've heard some views from the community that enterprises want to make good use of the DTSPP to use existing AI tools or to use readily available AI tools. One of our directions is to open up the eligibility scope, and we will come back to the Council to report on our ideas. Will you cover more industries? Yes. Thank you. Secretary, thank you. Going back to your first question regarding computing vouchers in nearby places, whether it is the computing vouchers or AI subsidy scheme, it shows that the government wants to use its resources to help with the development of the industry. We have the AI support program totaling $1.4 billion. We want to use up all $3 billion first. We have approved over 30 projects. Mr. Tong just now mentioned some enterprises have their own R&D capacities, including larger-scale enterprises and R&D organizations. We open our doors to all enterprises, in fact. So why is the number of SMEs on the low side? This has to do with the phenomenon in Hong Kong. Fewer enterprises in Hong Kong use AI. We are talking about supercomputing facilities, large model, and so on. However, SMEs are using end-user AI products. They want to use readily available AI products. They aren't really developing new AI products. In the future, we want more SMEs to develop AI products. technologies, and so on. If this happens, then they will be able to use our resources. When one day more SMEs apply for AI funding scheme and use our computing facility, this shows that there will be more and more enterprises specializing in AI and technologies. Once again, we open our doors to all industries. We do want to see more SMEs coming to us. Then this shows that AI development in Hong Kong is doing well. Thank you. I'd like to talk about the AI for All inclusive program. $50 million have been set aside for the AI for All inclusive program. It targets students, young people, and the public. This direction is well worth our recognition. However, in paragraph 27 of your information paper, it says that the number of beneficiaries of the AI for All inclusive program totals 50,000 in 2 academic years. The number is quite conservative. Is it conservative or is it aggressive? The State Council makes it clear that in 2027, AI terminal and AI application will reach 70% and 90% in 2030. Hong Kong has a lot of cooperations with the Chinese mainland. We lend support to each other. However, in the AI inclusive rate, can we further improve the AI for All inclusive rates? Is it possible for us to achieve a higher efficiency rate? Thank you. Well, I'd like to ask you another question about unemployment, especially for young people and ethnic minorities. I want AI training to be targeted. We need to help young people and ethnic minorities to enhance their competitiveness. In the document, we can see 3 different phases. I'd like to know how young people and ethnic minorities can benefit from the program. As I said, there are a total of 3 tiers. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for your questions. Regarding your first question, it is indeed a good one. It is one that is close to my heart as well. Cyberport, Hong Kong Productivity Council, and Science Park. It lists the number of beneficiaries inside the proposal. In fact, we need to point out AI Masterclass, AI for All inclusive program. Definitely the number of beneficiaries will be far greater than this figure. From the 9th of May, a total of 4 episodes have been broadcast, drawing a total of 950,000 members of audience. There is also a Q&A session with prizes. We have received 2,000 forms asking for participation. So, broadcasting AI Masterclass on free TV stations helps us reach out to as many members of the public as possible. $50,000, 3 parks, while Cyberport targets students, parents, older people, the disadvantaged, and so on. There are online interactive workshops and visits to park. This helps drive AI for All inclusive programs. Regarding Science Park, it mainly serves university students, researchers, professionals, and university students. There are advanced classes, competitions, internship programs, and job expos. It's very targeted. Regarding Tier 3, Hong Kong Productivity Council, it targets SMEs and working professionals. It focuses on practical training and optimization tailored to workplace scenarios. Going forward, we will work with the Employees Retraining Board and Labor and Welfare Bureau. We will launch more schemes. We are in discussion about some schemes, and we are considering adding more elements about AI into the courses. This way, we can definitely boost the coverage of AI. We will be able to reach even more people in Hong Kong. I'd like to talk about unemployment. It's difficult for me to reply to this question. Unemployment is attributable to a wide range of factors. We cannot just put the blame on AI, despite the fact that AI is an issue. What we need to deal with is not just about the disadvantaged in Hong Kong. What we are concerned about is the disappearance of jobs of programmers upon graduation. That is due to the development of AI. We are in discussion with the Labour and Welfare Bureau, and this situation is actually not exclusive to Hong Kong. It's seen in other places as well. At present, I cannot answer this question, but we will maintain liaison with the Council. Thank you, Professor William Wong. Thank you. My first question is quite philosophical. First, Anthropic said that we need to slow down AI development owing to the potential risks. What is your view on it? My second question is about Sandy Ridge Data Park. We will build a supercomputing center. I'd like to ask the administration how we can strike a balance between computing power development and carbon reduction. We cannot just expand with high energy. Any target on PEU? Will we draw reference from national standards or international standards? Will the requirements be incorporated into one of the requirements of the funding schemes or land approval schemes? My third question is that there is clear AI regulation all around the world. In the European Union, there is a tiered risk regulation, and in early May, our country has published a standard on AI terminals. That is a national standards on AI terminals. I'd like to know if the administration will draw reference from such standards. Will you take into account the actual situation of Hong Kong to publish a standard on generative AI terminals? You need to take into account the risk of AI as well as AI autonomy in Hong Kong while setting the relevant standards. Well, I will combine the first and the third questions asked by Professor William Wong. They are about AI regulation and ethical control. It is under the same topic. The second question concerns PUE. I'd like to ask the Secretary to reply now. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Wong, for your questions. Just now you referred to a viewpoint of a particular country. It didn't slow down at all. Instead, it is quickening its pace. So it won't be the case that individual companies ask us not to develop AI as fast. AI needs to be developed fast. It is our overarching goal to develop AI. Actually, slow development of AI is an issue instead. We have been regulating AI. We need to follow the steps of our country. We need to remain in locksteps with our country. We won't give up on this direction. We won't slow down our pace just because a company asks us not to develop as fast. We need to quicken our pace. However, we need to maintain control of AI development. We need to control it while developing it fast. Last April, we published a guideline that is a Hong Kong Generative AI Technical and Application Guideline. According to the potential risks, we have published a guideline for stakeholders, and they can take into account the level of risks to assess the risk of their AI system. According to the risk tiers, they will adopt the strategies. The Hong Kong AI R&D Institute will start operation in the second half of this year. It will provide even more professional on the professional autonomy of AI in Hong Kong. Professor Wong, you are a member of the Committee on AI Plus and Industry Development Strategy as well. Do you need to say something now? Well, your second question is indeed a good one. What you say is very important. When we construct a supercomputing center or a data center, we cannot allow unrestricted expansion at all costs. PUE is very important. For the Sandy Ridge Data Park, it complies very strictly with the national standard of 1.25. Objectively speaking, Hong Kong is hot. Hong Kong has its own difficulties. For the future development of the computing centers in Hong Kong, we need to consider the relevant indicators. For most data centers, if you require these data centers to reach the same standard, what if they cannot do it? They will have to fold, and there will be a possible impact. In the future, we are going to dynamically monitor the situation. It is hoped that the data centers in Hong Kong of PUE will decrease. We need to enhance our energy efficiency. I believe the DPO is already working on it, including data centers. Every few years, they will have to conduct an assessment. And for new centers, there will also be relevant figures.
發問你
You'll have to wait for the second round. I have to make a declaration. I declare that I am a board of director of the Hong Kong AI R&D Institute. Next, Mr. Nick Chen. On AI for all, paragraph 23 of the paper says that it will target young people as well as students, but only in terms of outside school programs. Will the government consider incorporating AI literacy into the primary and secondary schools curricula so as to build the basic knowledge of students? Also, paragraph 8 of the paper says the government will focus on embodied intelligence as well as life sciences and healthcare sectors. However, there's no mention of autonomous vehicles or driving. Well, we have been talking about developing a smart city, so I want to know if autonomous driving will be part of the focus of the government. Secretary, on AI for all, the member asked about basic education. That is whether we will have the Education Bureau promote this. The Education Bureau in recent years have been promoting AI education. It has put in place a lot of measures in primary and secondary schools. We have already stepped up the relevant measures. As to whether we will incorporate AI elements into the local curricula, well, of course, we welcome this. We will convey your views to the Education Bureau. Mr. Chung from the DPO will also pay attention to this. The member also asked if we will focus on developing autonomous driving. Well, this concerns the Transport and Logistics Bureau. I believe the Bureau is already taking forward the relevant projects, and we have identified pilot sites for this initiative. Well, AI and robotics is a relatively new area, and we have only mentioned embodied intelligence as well as life and health sciences, but it doesn't mean that we will not take forward AI and robotics project. We will continue to work with the TLB. We will provide support, including venue support, to the TLB. Mr. Tang Fei. To write on Mr. Nick Chan's questions, I have 3 questions. The Ministry of Education in May and September last year restrict students in Singapore below primary 3 to use AI. It is only with the supervision of teachers or those with education background that students aged primary 4 or above can use AI. I think this is also about AI for all, so I want to know if the government will take into consideration people's AI literacy. Now, turning to paragraph 26 of the paper, we see a great digital divide across various classes of people. For the grassroots, they may not be able to afford to subscribe AI platforms. Also, locally, we have Hong Kong Chat. Well, I don't know whether it is widely used in the city, but in the mainland, apart from Doubao, if the other platforms are paid platforms. I don't know if we can subscribe these platforms in Hong Kong. As for other overseas platforms, a lot of them are not open for use by people in Hong Kong. So I want to know, to enhance digital literacy of people in Hong Kong, which platform will you use, or will you stick to Hong Kong Chat? Lastly, on enhancing people's AI literacy, I want to know if you will come up with a tiered model so that people in Hong Kong will have an idea of which tier or which level they are at in terms of their digital or AI literacy, so that they are more motivated to boost their literacy. The first question concerns the use of AI by primary and secondary students, and the second question is about which platforms can be used. And also, will you come up with a tiered model to assess the level of AI literacy of people in Hong Kong? Secretary, I thank Mr. Tang for the questions. I'll first invite Mr. Cheung from the DPO to reply to the questions. Thank you, Chairman. And I thank Mr. Tang for the question. On promoting AI at the community level, for example, our seniors need to learn how to use AI. We talked about large language models. Last November, Hong Kong Guy launched Hong Kong Chat, which could be used by all citizens in Hong Kong. We have rolled out some digital schemes for elderly people, and we relied on community organizations to teach our seniors how to use various mobile apps, which include Hong Kong Chat. On large language models, you may have noticed that some of the large language models, including Google's Gemini, are open for use by people in Hong Kong. The ecosystem of large language models has been expanding. People from different classes or from different age groups, including students and elderly people, are encouraged to take part in various activities to learn what advantages AI can bring to them. As mentioned, We will talk to the Education Bureau to see how we can promote this. In terms of assessing the outcomes, for example, will there be a tiered model to measure people's AI literacy? This is a good idea. As we roll out activities, we will see how people can measure their AI literacy. Next, Mr. Ken Lee. Thank you, Chairman. AI development is in Hong Kong as well as our country's planning. We look forward to using AI more widely. I have 3 questions. First, under the AI for All inclusive program, how can we balance the needs of the 3 tiers of citizens? According to the paper, there are 3 participating organizations: Cyberport, the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, and the Productivity Council. For working professionals, they are going to participate in the Productivity Council's programs. And how will you distribute resources to these 3 organizations? Will they be regarded as having achieved the target if they manage to meet the KPIs? Also, it is expected that the AI for All program will benefit 50,000 people. Well, we have 7 million people in Hong Kong, so how much will it cost if we are to cover all 7 million people in Hong Kong? Also, do you intend to raise the target beneficiaries in the coming 2 years? Also, will the ITIB work with the Labour and Welfare Bureau as well as the Education Bureau to further promote AI? The first question concerns the positioning or division of work among the 3 organizations. The second question is about the 50,000 beneficiaries. Just now, the Secretary said there is the program AI Masterclass and that different age groups will be targeted. I'll ask Cheryl to reply to the questions. I thank the member for the questions. We believe 50,000 will benefit from the program because resources are limited. We only have $50 million. We hope that through the 3 organizations, we'll be able to benefit 3 groups of people. This is because we want to avoid duplication of efforts. Otherwise, there might be a wastage of resources. Therefore, as the paper says, we target young people, students, as well as the underprivileged for Tier 1. As for Tier 2, we target researchers and professionals. As for Tier 3, we target SMEs and working professionals. We hope that with limited resources, we can achieve a great outcome. Indeed, 50,000 beneficiaries is not enough, but this is just a start. The inclusive program is only part of the AI for All initiative. The Education Bureau is promoting digital education. It's trying to enhance students' digital literacy through the local curricula. As for the ERB, Employees Retraining Board, as well as the Vocational Council, they are going to make use of their existing framework to enhance trainees' AI literacy. So these programs complement with each other. We will see, with limited resources available, whether we can achieve more. In terms of the design of the program, there will be online and offline programs. This is because we hope that we can reach out to more people through different platforms.
Mr. Robert Lee, thank you. On promoting AI ecosystem development, this is very important. I have some questions. For SMEs to use AI, especially the financial industry, we used to have technology vouchers, but they are no longer around. I'd like to ask about the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Program. It helps SMEs to enhance their competitiveness with AI. It targets the F&B industry and the tourism industry as well as the retail industry. Will support be given to them? In fact, many large-scale enterprises are using AI very successfully. Their efficiency is greatly enhanced. However, it's not yet available for SMEs. For suspicious transactions, I believe using AI will help SMEs a lot. Will the administration tell us more about how they can help SMEs? Can the administration liaise more with social media platforms, especially for licensee or licensed organizations, especially for influencers online when they express their views online? Is it possible to give them a certification mark? One can use AI to generate a lot of investment advice clips. However, these influencers are not licensees. They are not license holders. For those expressing views without license, some members of the public might follow their advice. Frankly speaking, these are just scams. Would the administration work more with social media platforms in order to clamp down on such scams? Can we add certification marks to help license holders? Thank you. Just now we talked about the DTSPP. There will be development in the second half of this year. I'd like to see if the administration has any plan to cover the financial industry. Next, regarding the need to add any mark to AI-generated contents, this topic seems to be not under our agenda item. But let's see if the administration has anything to add. I'd like to ask the DS to reply to the first question. Thank you. In my answer to Mr. Albert Chuang's question just now, the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Program, DTSPP, can help SMEs a lot. We are conducting a review regarding the next round of the scheme. We'll consider adding more AI tools to help SMEs in the next round. Regarding industries, one of our review directions is to open up our program to even more industries. We want to support even more SMEs in various industries. We do want to cover the financial industry as well. This is our main direction, and we will report to the Council later on. Regarding the second question, that is adding a certification mark, it's beside the point of the agenda item today. But let's see if Professor Sun has anything else to add. Mr. Lee, well, my concern is AI-generated content. It's more about scam prevention. It's not really about AI. Anything to add, Professor Sun? Regarding adding watermarks, yes, we can handle it. Well, let me ask my colleague to give you more information. As for AI-generated content, for non-compliant content, we are seeing more and more such non-compliant content or contents bordering on being non-compliant. As for AI-generated images or video clips, should there be any watermarks? Regarding this issue, in the second half of this year, We will conduct even more in-depth studies into AI governance. We have already published some guidelines and frameworks. We will also carry out some reviews later on. Regarding ethical AI framework and Hong Kong generative AI technical and application guideline, we already made some updates last December. Regarding the use of AI to generate some new products, should they be regulated as well? Should watermarks be added? We will provide our views in due course. Professor Sun, regarding the question asked by Mr. Robert Lee, it doesn't necessarily have to be led by the ITIB. In April 2025, we published the Hong Kong Generative AI Technical and Application Guideline. We have already stated our position very clearly. We need to ensure a certain level of transparency. We need to make sure there is a framework, and we need to ensure security. Service users need to add watermarks or digital signature. This is our position. Although this guideline does not have any legal binding effect, under the present regulation framework, there is no one single statutory organization assessing whether an AI system carries unacceptably high risks. This March, the Secretary for Justice led various departments to carry out a review. They reviewed legislation in connection with AI in Hong Kong. They also checked whether there were any loopholes. They also made some suggestions. In other words, some work is being done. 4 members are going to speak. I'd like to extend the meeting by 15 minutes. After Mr. Brave Chen speaks, I will draw a line. If you would like to speak in a second round, please press the button before Mr. Chen finishes his speech. Just now, NPC deputies visited Beijing. We visited different parks in Beijing. We saw widespread use of AI. They have their own strengths. They do want to work with us so that we can take forward the development of AI in tandem. Regarding the AI system in use by the Council, it is indeed a successful example. It is worth taking forward. For the organization to which I belong, we have been promoting I Am Smart. Immigration Department, the Water Services Department, which department is using this service well? And my question is, which department needs to catch up? I'd like the DPO or the ITIB to help. My another question is indeed my view. AI has a lot to do with computing power, which has a lot to do with electricity. Can power companies provide even more discounts or concessions to supercomputing centers? Can we add green power of the Chinese mainland to our system? It's about the long-term planning of AI. Successful examples of working with departments in the Chinese mainland regarding AI, it might not be under AI inclusive program. And regarding government's use of AI, not really about our discussion. What about computing power? I'd like to see if the Secretary has anything to add. Regarding the use of I am Smart by the administration, I'd like to ask the DPO to respond. In fact, at the end of last year, we met our goal when it comes to I am Smart. All government public services could be accessed online, that is, on the platform of I am Smart. When various governments launched their services, some are more difficult to be located, so in the next quarter, we will launch an AI assistant service on I am Smart. We intend to use AI assistant to help members of the public to access the services that they need on I am Smart. By way of generative AI, members of the public can tell the AI assistant what they need. Then the assistant will provide service suggestions to members of the public. This will help members of the public to make better use of government services. Thank you. Well, I haven't yet answered the second question. Regarding computing power, I'd like to answer in brief. I know Mr. Brave Chan is very much concerned about this issue. Indeed, power prices decide the future prices of the AI industries. I'd like to tell Mr. Brave Chan the government will try its best to find the best solution. With the present framework or the contractual framework, we will try to achieve a multiple win situation such that power companies will continue to supply power at a high quality and enterprises will, at the same time, at a reasonable cost, launch AI products. And above all, members of the public and the industry can enjoy the dividends brought by AI development at an affordable cost. I'm glad to share with you that in this regard, we have made quite satisfactory progress. Next year, on the 1st of July, Sandy Ridge Data Park will release its computing power. As Mr. Brave Chan said, we need to make full use of the advantages or strengths of GBA power development. Guangdong is an example. We have been developing green energy very well in Guangdong. Regarding the future power management in Hong Kong, especially beyond 2033, how can we formulate even more reasonable proposals to ensure, to safeguard the interests and rights of enterprises that have to do with the power systems in Hong Kong. But more importantly, we need to help enterprises in Hong Kong to enjoy better development space or development room. I hope Mr. Chen will provide valuable insights to the administration. I hope we can move towards the very same goal. Thank you. Mr. Ng Win Kit. Thank you. I'm glad to see the government's work on promoting AI ecosystem development and AI for all. In paragraph 14 of the papers, it mentions the government's work. And in paragraph 20, privacy, cybersecurity, and security risks are mentioned. I'd like to ask, will the government consider data sensitivity to set different requirements for AI? For private models, which ones can use the models of overseas places and which need to use government models? We can see a lot of practical projects. I have one suggestion. The administration can work with the Education Bureau. You can open government AI tools to school so that schools can reduce the administrative workload of teachers, such as standard documents, contract checks, and clerical work. Then this will promote AI for all. Thank you.
同埋對數
Security of digital tools and whether you will promote the relevant products to the Education Bureau. Yes, Daniel? There are 300 government service tools, and some of these tools are provided through our cloud system, and others are provided on premises, that is, under the private cloud system of the government. Government departments will have to see whether there is any classified information that they need to deal with. Based on the data sensitivity level, government departments choose the right tools for their use. There are different kinds of tools that we provide, and government departments can, based on their needs, use the tools they want. We also have an AI toolbox. Some government departments may have successfully made use of these tools, and we display these successful examples to government departments. When we see that we have accumulated a certain number of successful examples, we will recommend these tools to the education sector. Any follow-up questions? Next, Ms. Elizabeth Quat. Thank you, Chairman. I have 3 questions. First, on the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Program. It is crucial to SMEs, so I hope the government can open up this program to more sectors and industries. Second, about AI subsidy scheme from 2024 to the present, $1.4 billion have been allocated to 30 projects, and this is very encouraging. However, we don't know how many of these projects are still at the R&D stage. Can any of them be commercialized and be applied by industries? Can you give us more information about that? Also, there are many large language models available. Take large language models as well as new materials and medical large models. Are you going to work very closely with the relevant sectors? For example, is the hospital authority involved? And once the models are developed, can they assist the diagnostic work of doctors? I know that some of the models are not adopted by hospitals. Also, I understand that the 3 organizations will hold 200 events benefiting 50,000 people. However, we have 7 million people in Hong Kong, and 50,000 accounts for a very small percentage, about 0.7%. How will the government assess the effectiveness of the inclusive program, and how will the government ensure AI for all? The second question concerns mostly the AI subsidy scheme. That's a new question, and for the rest of the questions, they have been asked before. I will ask Mr. Daniel Chung to address the questions. I thank Ms. Elizabeth Quat for the questions. We have the AI subsidy scheme, and some of the projects have been completed under the scheme. Subsidized organizations, after they have access to the computing power, they have to submit a report to tell us how the projects benefit AI development. As at the end of April this year, 10 projects have been completed, and it has facilitated 2 patent applications and the release of 13 academic articles. These patent applications, as well as academic essays, will be assessed by the relevant sectors to see how they can be made use of. And the projects include language models, healthcare technology, as well as new materials. And we will continue to adopt this model. Every time a project is completed, we ask the organization concerned to submit a report, and we will share the R&D outcomes with the relevant parties. What about the other questions? I think Ms. Elizabeth Quart asked about the PSBP. I thank Elizabeth Quart for the questions. We will see how we can enhance the next round of the program. As for the medical language models, is the HA involved? No, but we will share the R&D outcomes with the Health Bureau. I'd like to supplement. It is not that the subsidized projects under the subsidy scheme have to do with AI. As long as the projects can benefit upstream, midstream, or downstream sectors, we would consider subsidizing the project. Of course, if it concerns AI, they may be given priority. Yes, that's why I'm worried. I'm worried that the projects are completed and no one made use of the R&D outcomes. Take medical large models as an example. I hope the hospital authority can be involved. What about the question concerning AI for all? I think the Secretary already addressed the question about the 50,000 beneficiaries. Yes, Secretary? As I said, the AI Masterclass program has reached 900,000 people. So about 1 million people will be benefited, and there are currently training schemes launched by the LWB and the Education Bureau, and we can integrate our programs with theirs. I think that we can make good use of the synergy created. And we need different training schemes. For the general public, they need to have a basic knowledge of AI. That's why we launched the AI Masterclass program. We also need to organize, for example, activities and competitions that train up AI talent. The budget this year mentioned young people. Young people are our future. But it doesn't mean that we will stop here. This is just a start. I believe that moving forward, we will continue to expand the AI for All inclusive program. The Secretary, a lot of members asked about the 50,000 target beneficiaries. Perhaps you can elaborate in this regard. You mentioned the AI Masterclass. Perhaps you can include that in the paper. I think we need to enhance clarity of this paper. We will adjust it. Next, Ms. Grace Chen. Riding on what Ms. Quart asked, I'd like to ask about the effectiveness of government policies. We need to assess how AI can benefit our community. Secretary said If AI can be made use of and if risks can be controlled, it can benefit our society. I remember this very clearly and I agree. After reading this paper, I realized that the AI subsidy scheme has already approved over 30 projects, including $1.4 billion of subsidy. I want to know if you will select some outstanding projects to be shared with the public so that the public can understand the effectiveness of the scheme. I ask this because the assessment criteria under the subsidy scheme focus on the technical part as well as the innovativeness of the project. Sometimes social benefits are given a lower weight. I hope that the projects can be more related to the community. If these projects are proven to benefit the community, then we can achieve our goals together. I will extend this meeting by another 5 minutes. Secretary, this $3 billion AI subsidy scheme focus on subsidizing eligible users to have access to computing power, and the computing power can help universities, R&D institutions, as well as public organizations to take forward their R&D projects. And the computing power only offers support to part of their project. They make use of the computing power to implement R&D. Then they can achieve their result. I think the AI subsidy scheme cover a wide area. Take Inno Hong Kong as an example. There are 16 centers under Inno Hong Kong. Some of them have become unicorns and others have get listed. And others have also provided various services to the public. So members of the public can benefit from all these projects and schemes. We've also brought in a number of AI-related enterprises to Hong Kong. We hope that they will set up R&D centers in Hong Kong, and we believe they will contribute to our economy and create job opportunities here. So this is the general direction of our policies. Of course, I agree that our policies should display effectiveness. So when do we assess the effectiveness? After the policy is rolled out for a period of time, we review the policies and see if they bring about economic effectiveness. Coming back to the AI subsidy scheme, we look at whether it can benefit the INT sector. Well, I've already talked about this. There are 30 projects under the subsidy scheme, and we will continue to track the progress of these 30 projects. That's all for my reply. Thank you, Secretary. I believe that we are all concerned about the effectiveness of these schemes. Well, Dr. Junius Ho, I have already drawn the line, but you are pressing the button now. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm not well up in computing capacity, but computing infrastructure is very important. Can you enlighten us? I am an AI illiterate. Can you educate me? Per second, 50 million petaflops or 5,000 petaflops? What does it mean? In 2032, the figure will rise triple. How can I better understand this figure? It is an astronomical figure to me. It's different from a road, which I will see, but what about petaflops? Can you educate us? From now to 36 times, how much do we need to spend on it? What about chips? How many do we need? Where do we need to install them? How can we quantify it? Like Ms. Grace Chen said, I'd like to know the actual benefits. This is quite a fundamental question. Will there be an education trail so that we will better understand it? Well, the 118,000 petaflops are actually the proposal contents in the tender document. Just now, the administration already answered the overall power capacity or computing capacity. I'd like to know if the administration can provide us with basic AI training. Thank you, Secretary. Not just in Hong Kong, but all over the world, AI development will bring confusion to us. What is AI? What will the possible impacts on us? These sound simple questions, but they are very complicated. This is exactly why we need to promote AI for all. That's AI Masterclass. Well, in the first class, Professor already explained what AI means. What is AI? The government has already set up the supercomputing center, which reaches 5,000 petaflops. On the basis of government infrastructure and investment, the industry makes significant investments. The government invests hundreds of millions of dollars in it, but industry have invest tens of billions in it. We need to do better when it comes to infrastructure. We need land to build houses. We need to buy equipment. We need a good environment. Dr. Ho, you are familiar with Sandy Ridge. That place needs to become the Silicon Valley of AI. Even if others do not support it, Dr. Ho, you would definitely support it, right? Well, definitely you need to be concerned about it. Well, I can explain to you afterwards, Dr. Ho. That wraps up the discussion item. Thank you, officials, for joining us. Next agenda item, any other business? No other business? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.